This counter shows the sharp jump in filing costs for a single work visa. Historically, employers paid between $2,000 and $5,000 until this number hit $100,000. That was the reality for American companies last fall. But a federal judge in Massachusetts just struck that fee down, relying on a surprising Supreme Court precedent to do it. To understand the stakes, we have to look at the H-1B visa program. Congress created this pathway in 1990 to allow U.S. employers to hire highly skilled foreign professionals for specialty occupations, like software engineering, medicine, and academic research. It is a tightly controlled system. The government caps approvals at 65,000 visas per year, with an additional 20,000 reserved for workers holding advanced degrees. Because of those numerical limits and the high educational requirements, the H-1B serves as the primary talent pipeline keeping American hospitals staffed and Silicon Valley tech firms running. On September 19, 2025, President Trump signed Proclamation 109773. The order imposed a mandatory $100,000 supplemental charge on all new H-1B applications, effective just 36 hours after the signing. The administration argued that the visa program was being used to replace American workers with cheaper foreign labor. They stated this new cost would compel companies to hire domestically instead. The financial chilling effect was immediate. According to court filings, between September and mid-February, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services received a total of only 85 payments nationwide. The six-figure cost operated as a deliberate financial barrier engineered to halt the hiring of foreign professionals through executive action. In response, a legal coalition of 20 Democratic states, major labor unions, and academic institutions filed suit to stop the fee. They argued the six-figure price tag made it financially impossible for publicly funded universities and hospitals to afford the specialized staff they needed to operate. Their case rested on process and authority. They claimed the executive branch bypassed standard federal rulemaking protocols and overstepped the powers granted to the president by Congress. On June 8, 2026, U.S. District Judge Leo Sorokin, sitting in Boston's Moquis Courthouse, struck the fee down nationwide. The lawsuit shifted the focus from visa processing costs directly to the core limits of unilateral presidential authority. Judge Sorokin's 42-page ruling dismantled the policy on two fronts. First, he found the administration violated the Administrative Procedure Act by ignoring the required periods for public notice and comment. The second point was decisive. Sorokin ruled that a $100,000 charge disconnected from processing paperwork functions as a tax. Under the Constitution, the power to levy taxes belongs to Congress. The president cannot create a new tax by executive order. To prove this, the judge used a specific precedent, the 2012 Supreme Court decision that upheld Obamacare. He applied its tax versus penalty logic to the visa fee. By weaponizing that Obamacare precedent, the judge turned a debate over visa mechanics into a specific constitutional check on executive reach. The Trump administration strongly disagrees. They argue the payment is a lawful regulatory penalty designed to restrict foreign entry, rather than a tax used to raise revenue. The Department of Homeland Security released an official statement dismissing the Boston decision as blatant judicial activism. They have legal backing. 6 months earlier, a federal judge in Washington, D.C., reviewed this exact same proclamation and upheld it as legal. Confronted with this split, the administration is formally appealing the Boston ruling to higher federal courts. Right now, the United States is currently operating under two completely conflicting legal interpretations of the exact same executive action. Pulling back from immigration policy, this case reveals a fundamental conflict over the separation of powers. The courts are being forced to answer a foundational question. How much unilateral financial power does a president actually possess without an act of Congress? The ultimate fate of this $100,000 fee will set the financial boundaries for how much a president can act without Congress. Subscribe to DarkXpose to follow the case as it moves to the appellate courts.